This is going to be amazing.
Is my villain action.
Has he twirled in any way?
Aye.
Ooh, that's a nat 20.
Welcome to a very special episode of RollQ, where super nerds with questionable accents tell a great story. I'm your GM Q. We saved you a seat, so grab your dice and let's roll. Last week, our heroes fulfilled a promise made to Baron Dmitry Kreskov by traveling to the swamp ruins of Berez to seek a scrying spell from the witch Baba Lysaga. They had their first encounter with a pair of oft-mentioned werewolves, learning the location of their secret lair. They also fought a group of what you could only describe as moving plants that shot hundreds of needles from their bodies. Most importantly, they met a mysterious drow priestess named Silyth. She gave away almost nothing of herself or why she was there, but she traveled with and fought alongside the party, earning a small amount of trust for now. Finally reaching the swamp, the witch cast the scrying spell and described two captives, a young man and a slightly older woman. Both were chained inside a cavern, beaten and bruised, cowering in the shadow of a giant statue of the mysterious Mother Night. The task completed, knowing it was too far to go back to Kresk in the dark night, they began returning instead to Villaki, following a small glowing light toward the thick impenetrable mist. For a time, it is easy to follow the light in the mist. It takes you by the swampy green, past the scarecrows whose eyes still seem to follow you, and past the large, gnarled tree. But reaching the mist on the other side of the clearing gets thicker. Can't really see or hear one another anymore.
Sam draws his sword, channels the divine plenty that follows him and fills his essence from Lathander, imbuing the sword so that it will glow with sunlight and possibly spread some light into this newly occluding mist.
Oksana, she is not aware of anyone not being around because she is currently subscribing and commenting on this thing that we're doing that's storytelling and sort of D&D. Oh, by the way, I'm new, so when I stop and I'm like, what? That's me being new, not me being clueless, I think. Oksana is looking around. What does it smell like? Is it...
Great question.
Feel
Make a perception check.
Ooh, that's a nat 20. This is going to be amazing. What?
Smoking.
26.
It looks, while you're in it, exactly like the mist which brought you to Barovia, which brought you to the Durst Manor. And it looks just like the mist that Gummar at least tried to go through and out of. The smell is different. It smells less like... The smell of decay is much stronger in here. Whereas the other smell of mist, it was almost like you could smell the vapor itself. Here it's just that rotten smell. And it's very uneasy. On the other hand, traveling through the other mist made one physically exhausted, and this doesn't. It's just like walking.
Does the light, the bright light from my Lathandrian sword penetrate the mist at all?
It does not penetrate the mist enough for you to see. It is bright enough that while your compatriots cannot see you, they can make out the light of the sword well enough that it does give them some sort of thing to follow. You are still on a trail. You can't see anything that's in front of you, but if you look down toward your feet, you can make sure that you are on the correct path. As you move forward, you suddenly start to hear, very peripherally, hear the sounds of war. Swords ring out, armor crunches, men and women and eventually horses scream in pain. It sounds like there's a very large battle happening ahead of you, and as you continue up the trail, the sound gets louder, and you feel like you're going to walk out into the mist, into this battlefield. Instead, though, the mist ahead of you itself starts to swirl into shapes. Soldiers on horseback were charging, riding horses also made of mist in slow motion. And they collide with misty soldiers holding pikes and shields. The pike people wear helmets with devil horns. As the horse riders fall, turning back into mist, more follow. An endless stream of them. You're going to have to, if you are following the trail, You will need to walk right through these.
Do not be afraid. The mist creates many illusions. Sam raises his sword high so that everyone can see the shining beacon, but continues moving forward, hoping his compatriots will feel his confidence.
As Sam moves forward, the horses feel like they're going to crash into you, Sam. Dissipate as mist. You see that the light is passing directly through what seems to be the front line of this battlefield, and it is passing through without any problem.
Do we see the light? I mean, do we see his?
Yes, you can't see him, but you can see an elongated light that I think contextually you would know is his sword. Probably about the only thing you can see.
Gummar's going to move up as close to him as he can and warn him, but say like, I'm gonna grab onto your pack there, buddy, just so I don't get lost.
Aye, aye, Gummar. Hold steady, hold fast.
Oksana, Silyth, Darmog.
I am here. This is weird. What is going on? Hello?
Focus on the light.
You do not get an answer from Cormac or Silyth.
Girl, girl, we were talking like about something confusing about mothers. Where are you?
I'll turn into a spider if you like.
Oh, right. She like that. Hello?
Lady Silyth, Cormac, look towards the morning lord.
He is right here. I know he is right here. And she'll kind of, because she normally walks behind him for a reason.
As you reach out, you feel nothing. Stammer, you stop.
Yes.
Oksana is trying to cast sparks in prestidigitation, something to get Cormac's attention. Cormac, I am practicing magic.
You do cast the sparks. Sam, you see off to your left, maybe 15 or 20 feet, these little sparks bursting in the air, and you hear Oksana's voice coming from there. There's still no response from Silyth or Cormac. Go ahead, Gummar.
We're on, the road is just dirt, right?
By now, it's probably firmed up into definitely still mud, but it's no longer squishy swamp anymore.
Oksana, I am throwing you a rope. Try to wrap it around your waist, and I shall attach the other end to my belt. And I attempt to toss a rope towards the sparks.
Please make a dexterity check with disadvantage for several reasons.
Oh, this should be
I hear him though, or is that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah. You can hear him and you can see the light that he's holding. 8.
Oh,
Oksana, make a perception check.
don't I mean that? Hey, I like you today. 22.
With a 22, you are able to very clearly see the rope as it passes in front of you, all the way past you and lands on the ground. But it is a long enough rope that you can reach down and grab it.
She reaches down and grabs it. Sam, thank you. You and ropes. I love it. Sit around her waist.
Sam gives it a little tug to make sure we're snugly connected.
As Oksana comes in, you do hear more footsteps coming from you towards the light, and Irina will come to you and she'll say, I'm here, but where's Cormac?
Yeah, she's here.
Forgot you.
Oh,
I
Irina
forgot
was
she's
here.
there too.
Forgot you.
Oh, and you're here as well.
Me too.
Can I toss an end of the rope to her?
How is that possible?
It's the two of them working.
She's about
it's like those dog walkers in Central Park with like the 500 leashes going off of them, you know?
She actually managed to follow the light, and since you're not moving to you, so you can throw a rope that will smack her in the face as she approaches you from about 5 feet away.
You know, I'll be turning to like give it a toss, like a good seaman's toss, and then see her like, oh.
She's got the rope. She'll say, I wish that little light were here.
Can they even tell? Has Sam moved in any sort of, has he twirled in any way? Has he turned in a different direction?
He's like pivot, you know, to do the rope stuff. And so like,
But which way he was facing forward?
I should let Q answer that. That's not a question for me. That's a question for
I feel like it would be easy enough to just like figure out I'm going to turn around exactly without losing my spot. It is worth noting that the sound of this war is still upon you. It is as though you are standing in the middle of this battlefield of mist. And none of it's hurting you, and you know it won't. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, so it's possible we can barely hear each other? Is that?
It is possible that someone far from you could not be heard over the sounds of war.
Gummar is going to, I think, like trying to do it by 5 degrees each time, is going to cast message over and over and over and over to try and see if anybody responds. Cormac's Silyth, it's Gummar. We are this direction. Look for the shining sword.
Cormac does not answer. As you turn fairly far ahead of you on the path, you do hear Silyth say, "Why don't you just keep walking?"
Right. Abandon you. Noted.
She'll say, "I am further ahead than you. Who is it that is abandoned?"
Mhm.
Well, I'm with people. You're not.
"My queen is always with me." No more talking. Presumably she's headed straight up the path, though you don't see her using any light source at all. So
Maybe Cormac's further ahead?
Shall we pursue? We must
He's not-
move through this strange spectral battle.
Do we see Ravanthus or any of that Bay gargoyle stuff?
no.
Or well-lit holy oil?
Well, I was actually... First off, above table. I'm so sorry to take it above table. I just want to say I'm really proud of myself that Luke chose to do a message and I literally was going to do that. So it was like, this is a great idea because Luke did it. So I feel like I'm learning.
But
For
wait,
all the good it helped. Yeah.
Hey, it's a good idea. Then you said that about the holy oil, and I was going to pull it out of my bag. So the holy oil that was lit at one point in time out of her bag to examine it.
you have to get it pretty close to your face. At the moment, it is just a vial with water kind of at the top, fairly clear, but has a little bit of gray to it. The water and the oil have completely separated in this vial, but there's no light.
She shakes it.
As you shake it, nothing happens to it. Suddenly you see out ahead of you sort of a very faint orange light, and it seems to be knee-high, maybe? It is off the path.
Guys, there is an orange thing on the ground knee-high.
I think you mean waist high, but all right.
Oh, yes, right. It's high for you. Not knee-high for Sam. And if
I
possible,
will
she'll
look
go toward
near
it.
my ankles.
We pursue it.
Yeah, go towards it.
As you approach this light, it starts to feel warmer. Like you're approaching something that is radiating some sort of heat. As you reach this orange light, the mist parts and you are looking at fire, but it's in a fireplace. You realize that you're now inside, and you're not just anywhere. You're inside your barracks back in Daggerford. Cormac is not here.
Door, if he can find it.
Silyth is not here. Gummar, as you turn, you don't really realize this. You are the Gummar of back then. There is no memory of Barovia. There is no memory of the Death House. You are back then Gummar, with no memory of anything that has happened before that. The two of you will realize that too, in a way that you can't realize it, if that makes sense. The three of you will also realize you have just come in from Sir Isteval's funeral. And you're standing in the barracks for really the first time, realizing that he's truly gone.
May I clarify before we proceed?
Please do.
No memory of Barovia, so we wouldn't have Silyth or Mag in our mind at all.
They are not there, but you don't know them. Not at all.
Oh, okay.
They do not exist for you in this moment.
Are we
Having
still
not met
tied
either of
together?
But it would be before the Grave Order then.
It would be before the Grave Order. Probably the Grave Order came only a couple of days after that. So it would be before, but yes, it is before the Grave Order. It's before you trudge up the hill in the rain and go into that tavern on the eve of Harvesttide. There is no rope.
Okay.
Why would there be?
So we don't remember walking. We're just sorry.
You
Is it
remember walking.
Oh, like where we're just going to different.
You remember walking from the graveyard to the barracks.
Gummar goes to his bunk and looks at his little, I don't know, footlocker or whatever, his chest. And looks at his very few valuables. And he stares at them for a very long time.
Sam moves slowly over towards the hearth or the fire pit or whatever acts as light and heat in the barracks and takes up a position near it, which his compatriots would recognize as the spot that he usually goes to enter his sentry's rest in. But instead of taking his rest, he sort of lets his shoulders slouch and his head hang low for a moment, and then takes his flute and begins playing a very soft, mournful melody. He is uncertain how to handle the complex series of emotions, for lack of a better word, that he is experiencing. He is unable to put it into words, so he puts it into a hymn.
Sam, I will have you make a performance check, but I will have you make it with disadvantage.
8 again.
Sam may not even notice that he's not playing as he normally does. It's not so much that it's the wrong notes as that they're played incorrectly. They're a little flat here, a little too, strange as it is for a construct, too much breath. It sounds as though it is supposed to be a dirge, but it's chaotic. Oksana, as you stand sort of looking at the fireplace, watching Sam and Gummar, what is it that you're thinking about?
Oksana is staring into the fireplace, turns her mind open to her patron. What's next?
Well, if it were me, and I suppose it is, I'd stick with these two, at least until something presents itself. Walking off toward an unknown destination seems unwise.
Oksana jumps on her cot, barrack, and plops down, opens up similar to Gummar, and finds her scarf, holding it up to the fire and the different fabric, and seeing what she can see.
Oksana, the scarf is so colorful that this is not the first time you've done that. Held it up towards the light to see what you can see, but it does feel like each time you discover something slightly new, a new color you didn't notice, a new pattern, even if it's as simple as some type of swirl. No matter how many times you look, always something new to see.
She's gone through this, puts it back in her bag, sort of holds on to her sending stone from Constantine. She's not attempting to send at the moment.
Sam keeps stopping and restarting his tune, clearly realizing he is not able to do it correctly. There is something blocking him, and if a stone face can wrinkle in frustration or effort, his is showing some cracks. I do not understand.
Gummar slams his little footlocker closed. He kicks it under the bed. It was good while it lasted, but I think it's probably best if we all go our separate ways.
You are leaving us.
Yeah, Isteval gave us direction. He's gone now.
I mean, I'm fine with this, but I kind of feel like, I don't know, the little man in my head is saying we should stay together. So, not that he is expert, but
We failed.
Who is this man? Do you need it removed from your skull?
I thought we have already talked about this. But I would love it if you could, remove it.
I bet.
What is going on? Why is... No, just leave him inside my head. He is helping me apparently, but I do feel like at least until we can get things situated with his estate or anything, the will.
There's no will.
The man has things.
He was a public servant. He's got nothing.
Are we in? Oksana is going to get up, walk out of the barracks, and head straight for wherever she thinks Isteval's belongings or gold or...
Isteval had
Prove Gummar wrong.
Daggerford's sort of up on a hill. Your barracks are sort of at the bottom of that hill, just slightly outside the city. That's what gives you enough land to train, enough land to practice. Isteval lived up in the city. You have had dinner at his house pretty much every Sunday since you got here. It's fine. It is not the lap of luxury. It's also not nothing.
Is there anything of value or that would be of interest or for Gummar?
When you open the door and start to stalk up towards the town, you see a small man, maybe a teenager, not a little child, and he's sort of running towards you. Hello, sorry, I got a message.
Slow down. You're really hyper, kid. Tell me, what is the message?
It's my first one. My lord regrets that he must ask for this while you are still grieving. However, he did ask me to deliver this to you and hopes that you will remain of service to the town as Sir Isteval would have wanted.
That was excellent. Very good job.
Thank you. I'll go back then. Turns and just runs up the hill.
Gummar, this little child brought this. Who reads the best?
I will read it.
We gotta make a friend who can read better than us, I think.
Sam looks at the paper, turns it around the other way.
It seems to be from Lord Daggerford herself. It is a task. There is a group that has been in neighboring towns grave robbing, going from town to town, and according to the letter, they have not been stealing just any bones or robbing just any graves. They are specifically targeting well-known soldiers, mages. They're targeting heroes of their town. The pattern holds they should arrive in Daggerford in a couple of days. The Lady Daggerford would like you to stop them.
Sam reads all of it out rather mechanically and then carefully rolls it back up however it was delivered, tucks it into a pouch on his belt. We must stand sentry over Sir Isteval's grave.
Gummar?
One last job, then. For him. But then, I'm done.
Fair enough.
Where will you go?
Away.
What is there away from here?
It's what there isn't there. Sam. All the memories that have sunk into this place. He was supposed to come back, and he didn't.
As the three of you come to a somewhat uncomfortable but also a silence that feels necessary as you process this. Out of the door, you hear hoofbeats, fairly loud, more than one horse, and there is a shouting. Sam, as you step outside, you step directly into the mist which surrounds you. Oksana and Gummar, though you did not step out the room is gone. The mist surrounds you as well. Sam, your sword is still lit. You look where the fireplace was and that orange light is gone. Sam, that was a very, very vivid memory that you just had. Felt very real.
Sam cocks his head to the side and gives it a contemplative rub. Was that a dream? Oksana, Gummar, are we awake?
Why wouldn't we be awake?
How would we know?
I do not know.
So, okay.
That's
No, I'm sorry. If you want to go ahead.
I was going to ask a mechanical question about this. Would
Sure.
we all know that we just had that memory vision?
You know that you did.
Okay.
And was it precise to what happened?
Make a history check.
Can we all do that?
I'm
Yeah.
guiding myself.
Sure.
Oh, I got another nat 20. 21.
7.
Sam, you don't really remember. Gummar and Oksana, it was exactly true to what happened. Every word that was spoken, as you can recall, every feeling that you felt, every decision that you made or didn't make.
Oksana is suddenly overcome with anxiety, starts to look in her bag, fumble around in there for that scarf. She's realized that it's at the bottom of her bag, if it's there.
You reach into the bag, somewhat frantic, close your hand around it. It's there.
She'll take it out and put it on.
You hear a voice seeming to come from just 15 or 20 feet behind you. And it's the voice of Irene, and she says, "Where did you go? Gummar? Sam? You just disappeared. Can you come back to the trail? I know this battle isn't real, but I feel very... Can you come back, please?"
I will find you. Sing a song. Sing a hymn to the morning Lord.
As the light shall fade, your love shall hold. Sam, I
Keep
can't think of
singing.
any songs.
I will find you. Look
Here's a
to
song.
the light.
Sam, 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 I'm right here, Sam. Fall, bring the light to me, I'm right here. Come on, come on, come on. And Sam, it doesn't take very long, and she's there. And she said,
Does she still have the rope?
yeah, she's holding the rope. And she said, I don't know, you walked off there, and you just disappeared, and the rope went entirely slack. I realized I was holding it alone, and I yelled for Silyth, and she's long gone. I don't know where Cormac is.
I will fasten the knot more diligently. Sam takes the end and loops it multiple times through his belt loop and then hands the other end back towards Oksana. He seems clearly to believe that this is a mechanical problem that can be solved with pioneering skills.
She'll take it, try to tie it around tighter.
Irina will too.
Have we considered that Silyth might be responsible for part of this?
She is
We met her
that's Banner.
8 hours ago. Now Cormac's missing.
It does seem, if it is coincidence, it is an unnerving one.
Well, if she is taken my Cormac, we're going to have words.
Our Cormac.
Ours.
Okay.
Well, shall we go then?
Yes.
Do we know which way to go?
No.
Gummar, make a survival check.
That's a 26.
26. You veered off the path to the right. You walk back. Irina never left.
And Berez is over there.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's that way.
It's over there.
Yeah, it's that way.
All right, that way, Sam.
That way. And with a sort of renewed vigor, now he knows what to do.
Oksana is like the dog that when we're dog walking is off to the side, checking the pee mail every 5 seconds, looking for Cormac, kind of as she's doing it, trying to create her ball, her blood ball, but as it was purple, sparking it, hoping that it...
You are able to spark that ball. Your magic and power works just as it should.
Is it purple?
It is.
Okay, guys, he is alive. I have a beacon over here. We should go this direction, which is whatever the opposite direction is that everybody has decided to go. So she keeps walking and
Oksana, we've got to stay together. Did you see him over there or hear him?
No, but this is my ball and he is in my ball.
But the ball might go that way.
It's
She
a ball.
tries.
It goes in every direction.
I do not
Oksana, you-
understand. How has Cormac become a ball?
It is his essence, you know? Like, yes.
Oksana, to try it out, you turn almost in a circle, and the ball it doesn't get stronger in one direction or weaker in another. It is what it is.
It is because he is in my heart. Let's go. She will follow.
Sorry, I just want to say this because
Please.
I feel like under the circumstances it matters. Hearing the kind of panic that Irina had, Gummar, who's not like has ever touched her, is going to offer his hand so that she can hold on as they walk, so that she won't be left alone.
Whether she's waiting or whether it's instinct, at the moment you hold it up, she grabs it. And she holds on.
He gives it a little pat.
You start to move forward.
I will follow you, Oksana, if you have Cormac in your hands.
And heart.
Yes, I will follow. I mean, I will start. I will go. And she goes.
You walk
Wherever.
ahead.
Takes.
You are able to channel that in exactly the way you always have. It is not quite as bright as Sam's sword. It's bright enough, as though your feet on the path are some sort of cue. You hear from the sides as though reinforcements have arrived in the Battle of the Mist. And again, go ahead, please.
Are they shouting in any language?
Great question. Make a... I suppose this is still history.
Yeah, much worse this time. That's a 5.
5. It is either not a language that you know, or there is something, or it is purposely nonsense, purposely obscured.
But they are saying things.
Probably. They are saying things. In between screaming and death.
Does it sound like we are going to be attacked?
I mean, yeah, not in the sense that you'll be targeted, but in the sense that you are literally walking in a place where armies of horses and men are clashing.
I'm like imagining that
Right there.
that scene in Battle of the Bastards or whatnot, like Game of Thrones, where he's like that one shot. Is that kind of what we're doing?
A little bit. I sort of think of it as, of course, because Hobbiton is such a nice sleeping moment for you. Before it gets nice and calm in Hobbiton, when the orcs run and they run into the elves and there's that clash,
Yeah.
that's it. Except imagine the orcs had horses.
Okay.
Orcs.
Oxes on oxes.
So you walk forward. Something different happens this time. Above you, you hear a thunderous roar. A roar that I don't think any of you would have ever heard before. And seconds later, a dragon in the sky, enormous dragon made of the same silver mist, flies over you, low enough that you can feel the air as it rushes past you. It flaps its wings, and you think you can hear soldiers on one side seeming to fly off their horses and land in thuds. You hear the words, you don't hear the word dragon, but you definitely hear a word that they are all shouting in terror over and over and over. You see this thing curve up into the sky, and as it comes for another pass, sweeps back over you, and as your eyes follow it, you look up into plain old gray sky. Looks like rain clouds. The mist is not around you anymore. And instead, you stand together in the Daggerford graveyard. It is the night that the Grave Order is supposed to arrive. You are not sure exactly how much time that you have, but you have enough time and position to get the drop on them if you plan properly. A steady rain begins to fall, and thunder from far away rumbles.
I will place myself as if I were Isteval's monument. They will not expect me. You must secret yourselves so that when they approach, you can strike from the sides. I will hold as long as I can.
To give you the benefit of being able to plan this out, the owlbear awaits you.
I would like to take this time to let our listeners and viewers know that this map is not an in-house map. This map is cute.
This is DM Andy. Follow him on Patreon.
Yeah.
Good stuff. You stand in the graveyard. You note that the bones of Sir Isteval are in the small mausoleum to the north. There is only a single entrance.
And over that entrance says, comment, leave a review, or simply continue watching. It's good for the algorithm. Back
So
to you.
they will have to enter
It's a
through here.
weird graveyard.
So mechanically speaking, that whole entire thing on the right is it will not open. It will not be used. It is a building that we will not be using.
So are we going to talk about this in character? Is that the...
That was what I assumed. I assumed the three of you were standing, scoping the place out and deciding how to lay your ambush.
Can we pretend we have pointer and map?
Yes. Because in real life, you could go, look over there. So yes. Yes. Use the owlbear the way you would any other time.
How tall is this?
That is 10 feet at the tallest, and we'll call it 7 feet at the sides. Here would be, I'd say it's probably 4 feet up to the little pedestal, but this statue here would be probably about 20 feet high. Fairly tall.
Oksana is going to walk over to these and try to open them. Is that successful, opening them?
Sorry, hang on.
The coffin.
Just trying to open the coffin.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I opened this one.
It's empty.
What about this one?
It's empty.
This one?
That one looks like they've actually removed the whole coffin itself. That's actually just a hole.
Oh, this one's a hole, but this one right here.
So you start to realize as you flip open coffin lids that these will all be empty, and this is probably the place where they store the coffins And then when someone dies, they bring that coffin to the guy or girl and put them in it and bring it back.
Oksana is going to... Guys, what if I go over here and I get into this snuggly place and then you just put the lid on top of me as though I am dead?
But then you will be trapped.
That hole is exactly 6 feet down.
This could be fun.
And how are you going to see them when they arrive then?
I have keen senses. I am excellent. No? Not good idea? Okay. Then I will... Well, what are you doing over here, huh?
I was waiting to bring the might of the moon down on them as they enter the graveyard.
You like that one. It's good for you.
We should wait until they have concentrated themselves in front of Sir Isteval's mausoleum. Then the trap will be sprung. I will strike them from the front. You will strike them from the sides and back.
Well, then I'm probably going to move over here.
Well, what is this? She's gonna be like totally distracted. What is this over
We
here?
need to get a spray bottle. Just
The little orange things behind that gravestone.
Are they like mushrooms?
I have
They are.
Yes, they are. They are mushrooms. They are totally mushrooms that I know exactly what they are.
And this is the crypt entrance or something we don't know?
I would say that's the entrance. That's the door that heads into the building that's there.
Oh, okay.
Some sort of church building or something.
Well, I guess, guys, okay. Before we...
Yeah.
Before
Instead, they're going to walk through right in that direction, and they will presumably go to that spot.
Okay. How do I use my fireballs in this situation?
You must drop them upon the enemy.
and not Sam, hopefully.
You think we could do this? I am just saying, like, should we wait until... I mean, did the thing that the kid gave us, is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it say how many to expect?
It said there is a group of maybe half a dozen of them, but it also said that they seem to come with other brainless undead that they have some control over. So in terms of how many actual things are going to walk in here, could be a lot.
Would it be possible for, before she suggests it, to be on top of the statue and hide? Like frozen hide? As though
It
she
would
was
be
a gargoyle? To Cormac.
It would be difficult to climb to the top of the statue. To climb up to the pedestal and be behind that statue is quite simple.
Every statue, you don't let her climb to the top.
It's hard to climb up a 20-foot stone statue. I don't know, I never tried. But
I got
when
spider
I imagine it in my mind, and I imagine even my adventurer arms they struggle. It's hard to get up there.
So she could spider climb up to the top?
Yeah. Totally forgot you have that, and you absolutely can.
Okay.
100%.
What would her cover
at the
look
top.
like? Could she actually...
You'd be completely behind the thing. I mean, until something came around to the other side, and then you would have only whatever cover the night would give you.
And I have old personality.
I would say you all three have... I would describe the way this feels and your experiences as exactly like the scene after the funeral. You are the you normally are, except you have the powers that you currently in real life in Barovia have.
Okay, guys, I am going to climb up this like fancy statue, and it just looks so much fun. So I think I am going to look very couture. I mean, if this is word, special, like amazing.
Wait until they have collected themselves for the mausoleum. Once they are gathered, we may strike. With greater confidence that we will take them down.
But what if they're never all together? Do the best I can.
Then we wait until one or a few get close enough to Sam that we need to worry about it, I guess.
Okay.
But let them come to us. We must control the field.
Are we ready?
Are you all in the positions you'd like to be in? As you wait,
Sam takes a stock still position, looking like a posed statue.
Oksana climbs up.
as you wait, the rain begins to fall much harder now.
This is cool.
The thunder gets closer. A decidedly non-Barovian mist raises from the ground, probably never gets above maybe even your ankles. Plain old mist. As you sit really alone, each of you waiting, what do you think each of you would be thinking about?
My arms are getting tired. Think faster. There we go.
Sam finds himself thinking, I will not lose you again, my master. Morning Lord, strengthen my arm.
I don't think Gummar would ever tell either of the other two, but he thinks to himself, fuck you, Isteval, for putting us in this position.
She's up. It's like, let's hit this shit. Let's do it. She's not thinking anything about Isteval. Screw it. He left.
As you stand, cling, and crouch in wait, that non-Barovian mist starts to turn more Barovian. And without you hearing anything coming, as the mist swirls around you, you're back on the path. Sam's sword is shining. The ropes around you. Irina still has your hand, Gummar.
At least we finally got to actually, like, plan an ambush.
As you do look and you do see the dragon that you saw curving, it's as though no time has passed. It's as though this vision was completely instantaneous.
And Irina reacted at all? Like, you were gone. Now your hand is here.
No, she has not at all. She's watching the dragon, but it is as though this time that no time has passed at all.
Do we remember having been there as if it was a moment ago, or do we remember having been there some weeks ago?
Or both.
You know that you had a very vivid flash of that conversation and that moment. It felt very real. But memories, you can remember a lot of things very quickly. Maybe it's that. But I don't think you would know that the other two had the same.
I have lost a master, a father too.
She'll just sort of look up at you and she'll say, I know, Sam. I know. strange as it might seem, I can see it in your eyes.
Sam's blue glow, stony eyes blink a few times, and then his stony lips curve into a slight smile.
Around this moment, the silver mist dragon starts to sweep back. At this point, you realize that most of the sound of battle has gone. Instead, it's been replaced by the screaming and moaning of wounded. Not just men, but women, animals. The dragon sweeps by, and as your eyes follow it, this time, the moment your eyes have turned, the dragon mist is gone, and instead, there's a dark, tall building that seems to be some kind of mansion. It's as though its windows are watching you. And as you watch, the mansion seems to age and diminish as you watch it. It seems to lean somewhat. You can imagine the paint starting to rub off of it. And just as that mansion appears ready to collapse, the mist swirls again, and this time the mist all gets pulled upward like a vacuum. And you look up to see the lightning and the thunder at the graveyard in Daggerford. For the first time, you hear things approaching. Probably people, footfalls, but there are other things, sort of rattles. Oksana and Gummar, you would hear it a bit before Sam. Sam hears it enough to cast a spell, but you would hear with more detail what it is that may be coming. It's a lot of sound. All of it is muffled and small, but closest is this sort of moaning. A moaning that sounds both angry and heartbroken at the same time. And walking into view, finally, you see this creature. It's horrifying. It seems to be some sort of distorted flesh golem when first you see it. But you then realize that it has feet and arms and even heads sticking out of its body in places where it doesn't make sense. And as it enters, slowly lurching, it looks as though a group of 4 or 5 maybe adventurers, given the random pieces of armor, melted. And when they recongealed together, they created this 12-foot tall, broad, horrific creature. And it moans as it moves forward. Coming behind it fairly quickly, a trio of skeletons moving forward. One seeming to place itself here, the other here. And the third stands there, and you realize that they are obeying the commands of a man. He's very pale skin, but a man. He has black hair slicked back, mustache coming into a sort of pointy beard here. He wears armor, and his hand, as it goes like this, seems to move the skeletons around. He'll come to there. A moaning gets closer, and shambling in behind now are zombies. I don't know if you would have ever seen a zombie before. You can decide that for yourself, I suppose. These appear to be rotting. Even more than a normal zombie. These are just pieces of flesh that is barely hanging on as they move, sort of just spreading out along the walls.
Hey, David.
And
I don't know if I am the only one hearing this, but I think every time you click on your computer, it's like click long. Do you guys hear that?
oh, is that what that is? It
Yeah.
sounded like drumming on a desk. Like
Is there like a
I thought it was my imagination.
It's got to be the Surface mouse on my laptop. I don't have the actual mouse with me.
That's okay. Is it fully flat? Because it almost sounds like it. Yeah, okay. That's fine.
Yeah, it's just the mouse, the touchpad.
Yeah, we can cut that out. It's not a problem. I just was like, well, if it's just in ballads, maybe. It's fine. Drumming is great.
As the horror seems to sort of walk to the side and just wait. Striding in next, you see a knight, but close enough as it reaches you, close enough for Oksana and Gummar, if you have some sort of eyes on it, to see that this is some sort of undead knight. A knight not dissimilar to the guards on the bridge, if you knew what those were or had ever met them.
Ah!
Everything okay?
This is so
Creeping in, you see this sort of tiefling, and she's got this just maniacal smile on her. And as she approaches, you feel that she is talking to these zombies. And as she moves this way, you can see that she almost seems to have pieces of her flesh rotting off.
Yeah, we strike. They're kind of together. They keep starting to fan out.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, like, at some point, Gummer's just gonna cast message. Fireball. Fireball.
So these two shades start coming forward here. And they'll come to this spot here.
I just hope I roll well.
And striding behind an elven woman, not a dusk elf or drow, but dark hair, deep sunken eyes, moving so smoothly that she appears to be gliding. And as they all sort of reach spots, she'll say, "Start looking.
Fireball.
Find me the best warrior here."
Cast fireball.
If I cast fireball, can I have advantage? Because I said the first thing.
It doesn't matter.
So,
It does. We had this whole conversation in another
so
episode.
this is a little different. You have entire surprise. I have already pre-rolled them, and I pre-rolled them already with disadvantage. Presuming that you would lay the actual trap. So I will have the three of you roll initiative normally, but they've all rolled with disadvantage already.
So we are not rolling with advantage.
You are not. You are rolling straight up because they disadvantaged instead,
Okay.
which is rules as written. So, Oksana, initiative?
My bad. Sorry. I'm excited.
Which is weird. I used to have 2 things of holy water, but they aren't in my equipment any longer, and I don't remember using them.
I think you gave them to us.
Oh, did I? Do you have them?
I have one of them. I think you gave the
Okay.
other one to Cormac.
Cool.
I have holy oil.
So, the initiative turned out to be narratively perfect.
Oh, it did.
Oksana, you get to go first.
I legit, that's real, by the way. I did not, didn't flub it. Okay.
I would never accuse you of flubbing.
I mean, for the narrative, but not in this. Okay. Oh, I'm just kidding.
How dare you?
Okay. How do I do the circle thing? Or can someone make a circle of how big it is?
The third thing down should be draw,
Oh.
and you should be able to pick a circle,
Oh.
and then it should measure. So it's a 20-foot radius, I think.
Radius, so that's 40 feet of diameter.
Okay.
I was told there'd be no math.
Is that right? Is that too much? Whoa. Okay.
That it seems to me to not be enough.
10,
Then how do I?
So I'm just gonna.
30. It's like 36.
It's 40.
Help or
Actually,
Please. Thank
Damn
you.
good.
Of help, actually.
damn good.
And there's another circle. Yes. Thank you.
And once it's drawn, You should be able to move it wherever you want it to be. Like you should be able to clip to grab the side just like you would any token and move it around.
So I'll let you decide where would you have placed it?
I would like. Ooh, tricky.
This big fella's over here, but
Feel it. So we noticed that she was talking to them.
Yeah, you heard her voice clear as a bell.
And there's no way to get both her and the big guy. I feel like that's the way to go. The way it is.
Okay.
You think? I mean, I feel like Gummar's close enough to be like communicating in dwarf and spider climb person.
Okay. I am beginning to roll dex saves. What is my DC?
15 or dex? Yes, 15.
No, your DC. Yeah. DC's 15? Sounds right.
Save DC? The DC? Yeah, 15.
I don't know if anybody here has ever watched The West Wing.
Oh, I've been rewatching it just recently.
There's a
little bit.
There's an entire episode where Toby is throwing like a rubber ball against. That's the sound that I'm getting from your clicking.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
It's like
That's crazy.
yeah.
it's like playing racquetball almost, but no echo.
Only two who passed are Asteris, Mycetti. All the rest fail.
Yeah.
Okay. So the total number is 24?
Yes. Could be better.
Okay.
Taking a cue from Gummar is here, and she's got her legs wrapped around the head or the neck of the statue, and she's, I don't know, the shoulders or something here.
I don't know that I want credit for them.
It is my creative expression. Can I take a creative liberty narratively? And then we can backtrack if you're not into it. She goes to create her fireball and looks straight up like having a vision. And up into the sky is this blood ball, but it's tiny. And she shoots it down right into the epicenter. Epicenter of the circle. And when it lands, it explodes and splatters and then fire or whatever damage it takes. But this time it hits in that crackling purple of Cormac. Like, what is this? But I go with it. And then you could decide how that works with everybody else.
So as this lands, it pushes out just like you said in this just absolute explosion. Hard to see even what happens until it sort of dissipates away. When it does, you see that you have absolutely vaporized lots of these things.
Nice.
Two of them, Halloran and Jedar, seem pretty darn hurt. Lesteris and Mycetti seem hurt, but they are looking around a bit more quickly.
Do they see her? Oksana?
Yeah, they do now. They saw where the fireball went there and they looked up, and there you are.
Get this bitch. Well, not this dog. I love her. That's Hoka, by the way. She's our port Hoka. Get this bitch. Come on, let's go. Oh, and I get to move. I will spider climb down.
25 feet of movement to get all the way feet on the ground.
Oh. can I stand a little taller? Like 5 more on top? Balance?
Sure. Your feet are sticky too, like spider climbs.
So she's going to climb right on top of its head. And because at level 5, you can actually climb without your hands. So she's just going to be like one of those sticky things that the kids put on their cell phones right now to like do their, I don't know. We have teenagers. So do their TikToks and whatnots and YouTube shorts. Okay.
The tiki-takis and the
Yeah. We're
Instagrammies and the...
Get it. They're going like this now. I don't know what this is. Zigzag. Clog it. Yes.
Okay. Period.
Period. We should just do a whole episode with all of that. Okay, and that is her turn.
Okay. Sam, seeing this giant ball of crunch explode in front of you.
Sam, drawing his sword, channel my divinity to imbue the weapon with the sacred power of my faith, and will charge the horror to bring this shining blade of justice deep into its unholy flesh. And, and I am using it two-handed, by the way. I attack with a 24.
A 24 hits.
Oh, it's actually a 26. I forgot to add my +2. For 9 points of radiant damage, and as the sword bites in, Sam focuses his divine rage into a divine smite. So that is 17 points of radiant damage total.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 17 damage.
22
Yes.
for 7 points of radiant damage, and this too shall be delivered with the full faith and divine authority of the Morning Lord.
Nice.
And I believe that is my turn.
Gummar. Actually, hang on, Gummar. I'm going to use a villain action.
Uh-oh.
I will have to figure out which one, though. Yes, that is the one which makes sense. The horror will use its villain action to move without incurring opportunity attack.
Oh dear.
If we die in this experience, what a shit show. Literally.
It's dying in a dream. As it races around, one of its arms seems to shoot out this giant chain that whips around. Sam and Oksana, I need you to make dexterity saving throws.
Maybe I was too cavalier.
11.
11 fails.
I presume this is not an attack roll that would be affected by my protection from good and evil.
Because it is a save, I think not. If it were an attack,
Yeah, it's just
roll.
attack rolls according to
Right.
the text, so
So then no, not this particular one.
just checking.
Oksana, dexterity save.
It is a very cute 7.
Okay. So this is going to get interesting, particularly as it relates to Oksana.
No,
Oh no.
you better not. I will.
So you each take 10 points of piercing damage.
My heavy armor mastery reduces some of that piercing damage.
Sam, you are knocked to the ground.
Ouch!
Oksana, you are knocked off the top of that statue.
I flip off, by the way.
Yeah, you're flipping somebody off.
So
Please tell me she lands on her feet, because that would be...
Being smacked with this thing. As you completely had your bell rung, I will allow an acrobatics check, but it will be with disadvantage.
Um, 10.
10 is a failure. So falling and landing in the mud, you land prone and you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, guys.
So it knocked you off, we'll say it that way. You are also prone. That is my villain action. Gummar, as your turn starts to happen, you see Sam absolutely wail into this beast of a thing. But the beast of a thing just kind of runs past and whips this wild chain around, knocking your friends down, and Oksana falls off of the statue, landing with a thud in front of you.
Okay. Shoot.
Would we have discussed what we have? Should we have discussed that during our ambush? Like,
I
don't worry about me. Or, you know, like what we actually have in our inventory and stuff.
would say that you would know whatever you know at level 5.
Okay.
There's a part of this vision that is somewhat dancing on the veil between now and then in a way that the Sir Isteval memory did not.
Well, you would have seen her use healing word.
Yeah, but you're on the ground.
At the moment.
They all have turns coming up.
Okay.
Don't let it be said that Riven didn't teach us anything.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
No
So
comment.
Okay. Well, Gummar was going to cast Moonbeam. But I think he... Oh, never mind. No, he is good. Okay, he is going to cast Moonbeam, so I need Constitution saves of 15 from Lestheris and Halloran.
Lestheris fails.
Okay, that's 13 radiant damage.
Halloran fails. You said 13?
Mm-hmm.
Lestheris cries out. It's not from the pain, though. Halloran manages to turn towards her, and with a face that none of you see, he looks at her as though he's sorry, as the moonbeam just blasts through him. He melts to the ground.
Okay, and thankfully, remembering the rules, I am going to use my one daily use of Healing Word, which does not use a spell slot, and I will cast Healing Word at Oksana and say, "Stop playing in the mud," which from him it means something. And that'll be 9 HP.
Especially because, who is playing in the mud? I love it.
And then he will, so I think that was about 15 feet to get where he is.
Okay.
How much was that?
9.
Okay.
which means he still has 25 feet of movement. So he'll move there, and that's his turn.
All right. Now, the Grave Order will try to respond. So first, Jedar will reach his hand out, seeming to scoop earth up and pull it up and release it with his hand like that. And 3 more of the skeletons
Mm.
will appear.
Be in the middle. Be in the middle.
First action.
This is not the barbarian queue. Remember?
I remember.
We were building.
His second action.
You're the one that stood on top of the statue.
I am feeling. I was going for the narrative, and then
All for the story.
yeah.
Jedar is a human, and he does not need to use that because he has advantage anyway. And that is a natural 20.
Oh, no.
So, Sam, that is 18 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow. Well, I can reduce that by 3 because of my heavy armor mastery.
And also 7 points of necrotic damage.
Ouch.
I'm just gonna make like a
You
card.
see this giant hammer come
Ouch.
down, and it smashes into Sam deep, and then you feel this sort of gross come around like that.
We're gonna have to revisit this fight like every level until we beat it and don't die.
Seriously.
Jedar now will, with his bonus action and his last thing that he can do, he will pop this skeleton,
Oh right.
and he will give himself some hit points back. Or roll, though. So that is only 5 hit points back. That is his turn.
Can I say something really quickly? I
Of
just
course.
did. I think it would be a great idea if we, you know how we do the like overlay cards for the character cards? I feel like we need to have one that just says heavy weapon master, whatever, every time he calls that. And then every time we cast jump, it just comes up like it's a signature move. Yes, signature move
Yeah.
or something.
Like maybe we could, when you spider climb, it can be a little thing that like goes upwards across the
I can make animation.
street. Awesome.
Sorry.
Okay. Alestheris has a turn,
Very inspiring.
and she will, having been moonbeamed, actually she only needs to be there to get eye line. So she will reach out her hand. Gummar, that's 22 to hit. That is 3 points of necrotic damage as she'll shoot this kind of almost black lance that's coming toward you. You manage to shrug it off just in time to see another one that's a 16 to hit.
Misses.
Misses.
And I rolled a dirty 20 on my concentration check.
One manages to graze you and the other misses entirely. That is her turn. The horror will look down at Sam,
Oh, I forgot this a thing. I thought it was a statue.
and with his bonus action, he'll look down at you, Sam, and just kind of make this awful sound. Sam, make a wisdom saving throw.
16.
You look up at this thing that you've cleaved in half, and you show no fear as your
Yeah.
eyes blaze toward it. It is now going to take a swing at you with its spine cleaver. It is a straight roll, a con save of 11.
22 total.
11.
All right, you keep it up. So this is a straight roll then, you being prone. That's a 12 to hit.
That will miss.
Reaches down with this hook made of bone and it just scrapes across the armor. That will be the horror's turn.
This is Port Mary in China that we would love more pieces of. So should anyone
really
want to
buy us a coffee so we can buy fine china. Let's see.
Actually, we should pay our artists. Make us a coffee. ko-fi.com/roll, ROLLQ. Someone's already donated $20, guys. Be the second. Be the reason. Just be.
Be the reason an artist can eat this winter.
Yes, if you are listening to us or listening to our silence while we figure out how not to die or how to kill other things, go to YouTube and check out our student artwork. My 15-year-old kid did all of the character stat cards. Take her a coffee.
These zombies will move. They can use their action to dash.
No.
I'm not sure they can, actually. No, they can. It just means they can't do their terrible attack. It is always you, Sam. Can only do it with one, though. So, Sam, I'll need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Does this involve poison in any capacity? The poisoned condition?
It does not. It involves necrotic damage.
Poopy. 15.
15 is a success. You do take 7 points of necrotic damage that is already halved as this zombie explodes, splattering itself onto you.
The blue glow from Sam's eyes and that infuses the arcane writing engraved upon him is shuddering and flashing. It is unsteady. Sam does not look well.
She's going to float some spores in your direction. It is with disadvantage, Oksana, because you are prone. And with disadvantage, that is a 16 to hit.
If I have a 16, that means she hits.
It does. 10 points of necrotic damage as these fungal spores lay on you and it's just awful and it rips through your skin. And also, Gummar, you might be able to see this, you might not, but Mycetes seems to stand up a little straighter. That's her turn. Prone Oksana, your turn.
Prone, how do I get up?
Yes, so half your movement to stand.
I will do that.
Okay. The guy closest to you, Jedar, looks not great. The horror also looks not great. The skeletons and the zombies, gosh, hard to tell, but you did absolutely vaporize them with your fireball. You would say Lestheris and Mycetes look okay.
I'd like to cast Eldritch Blast. I will shoot at Jedar. 11.
11 misses.
I'm going to shoot it at him again. That's so much better. That's a 21 to hit.
That hits.
11 force damage.
He kind of ducks it. And as he turns back with the smile on his face, the second one hits him full in the face. The force damage presses his face into his skull, and he is not smiling anymore.
She creates blood ball, and it is like freaking awesome. And it is gooey, and her hands are bloody, and she's loving it. And she shoots it at Jedar. Immediately, it's purple blood with blue Sam eyes ooze in its face.
Take it.
And I will. Guess I'll stay there. Oh no. I don't know what's happening to this thing. I'll take the opportunity attack. Try something different.
Okay.
Dude.
He skeleton will take its swing at you. That is an 11 to hit.
Does not hit.
You sort of feel this thing wave at you with a knife that appears to be made of some sort of bone, but it does not come close to you.
That's my turn. Thank you for your patience and support.
Sam, prone and surrounded by Gross.
Sam throws himself at the horror with everything he's got. Longsword first. For a dirty 20.
A hit.
For 10 points of radiant damage. And as the sword bites in, Sam's eyes blaze blue with a pupil of pure sunlight, and I smite him with my level 2 divine smite.
As you rip through this thing and the smite pops, as it falls, you can actually see inside of it something, maybe a soul trying to get out. As it reaches up, make a persuasion check.
Oh, it's only a 9.
A 9. The soul seems to look toward you, and rather than fighting its way to the light, retreats to the dark. Sam, I need you to make now a dexterity saving throw,
Oh dear.
as will Zombie and Skelly.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 is a success. With a success, Sam, you take 1 point of acid damage
Ouch.
and also 1 point of necrotic damage as the horror kind of explodes. It does, however, melt the
Oh.
creatures behind you.
The acid sizzling, looking quite haggard. Sam still raises the shield in front of him and advances methodically to his last 15 feet to the decrepit skeleton to attempt his second attack. 15.
A 15 hits.
For 7 radiant damage, please.
You crunch through this thing and the bones all fall to the ground.
Sam looks at Lestheris and Myceti in front of him, and even though he's like held together by just like veins of ore inside the stone and creaking,
Lestheris' villain action. You reach over and see the two of you. Right from the ground, these 3 sort of empty cloaks of black come in front of you, completely empty and shaded. That is Lestheris' villain action. Gummar, 3 shades have just appeared in front of you.
Since Gummar can move the moonbeam, he's going to start by doing that. He's going to send it over Myceti, and then he's going to send it over Lestheris. So I need con saves from both of them of 15.
They both fail.
yes.
That is 10 radiant damage.
Myceti takes the damage. Lestheris is going to use a reaction to take her ethereal step, which allows her to travel 60 feet. So as the moonbeam moves towards her, she kind of looks, and it's definitely not a smile. She steps backward and kind of phases, and you do see a poof of light where she is to be able to see her.
I think still have enough movement to move it back. Myceti will only take it once on a turn, but he wants
Okay.
it plunked right down on top of her in case she decides to stay where she is. Then, this sounds freaking ridiculous. Gummar's going to run here, and then he's gonna run past all of them. And because he has the speedy feat, all attacks of opportunity are at disadvantage.
Very well. Miss didn't even have to roll any of them a second time. They all missed.
So 20, 25, 30, 35. So he'll be right here, and that's his turn.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He has a bonus action. He will cast Healing Word and say, "Sam, maybe stay out of danger for just a moment." 8 hit points. All done.
Lestheris' turn, which means the shades first. This one will follow Gummar. Oksana, you may whip out your dagger and do an attack of opportunity as your reaction, should you wish.
Yes. 8.
An 8 total? No,
Yeah.
that's going to miss. So first, the one on Gummar misses. First one on Oksana is a natural 20. Second one misses. So for that natural 20, Oksana, you take 1 point of necrotic damage.
I'll take it.
Shades are not particularly strong. Lestheris will now take her turn. Does not have a bonus action. Theris is going to, she's quite intelligent. The shades are surrounding Oksana. She feels as though she can get away from Sam. So she will again shoot her 2 necrotic lances at Gummar. The first one is a 10 to hit. And the second one is 18 to hit.
18 misses.
She shoots them both. She does look furious. She will step back into there. Give herself some cover. That's her turn. My Seti. She will use her action. Not a lot she feels confident about.
Oh,
She will use her action to use her animate husks ability. She'll put 3 rotting zombies just behind you, Sam. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Actually, she'll go here for now. And she used her bonus action to pop a zombie. Sam, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
19.
19 succeeds. You then take just 3 points of necrotic damage. Zombie guts pour onto you. I said he will move just one more away. Not that it really matters. Actually, we'll go this way. And that's her turn. Oksana, surrounded by shades.
first, she will cast, as her bonus action, Healing Word on herself. 11 points for myself.
Nice.
And she will cast Eldritch Blast first on my Seti. That's a 11 again.
11 is going to miss. Who are you shooting at?
Doesn't matter because I rolled a 4. I was going to shoot at Letheris or Listeris or Lathander, whatever. Leontes. Yeah. So that was a whole lot of pointless shit. Okay. I guess she's gonna stay there.
In my mind, you were so pleased and surprised at the healing that you did to yourself. Threw you a little off balance.
I was so proud because I knew what to do.
Dude, the healing was good. 11 points is a lot. Very well. Sam, your turn.
Sam carefully maneuvers himself around the moonbeam, turning his back on those zombies, accepting that they are going to attempt to attack him as he does so, but they will have disadvantage as I move on my Seti,
Both wild misses.
leading with the glowing longsword for a 17.
A 17 is a hit.
18 points of radiant damage.
The first single swing chops her sideways, and dirty spores and rotten necrotic leaves her as she falls down. Alive no more. These also go away as soon as that happens.
The force whip the guts off of the steel and then looks over towards Listeris and says, "Come to your justice. Come to the final judgment." But I'm out of movement, so I can't do much more.
Come to me.
Let me see if I have a bonus action that would be useful.
Laying hands on
Hey.
yourself.
Yeah, can't you
Touch
I can
yourself.
do that. I think I can touch myself.
touch your crevices?
In my mind's eye, he flourishes off the guts, stands there, bellows out his challenge, and then just divine energy, radiant stone and wood knits itself back together for the...
Did he enjoy that?
He enjoyed touching himself very much.
Bet he did.
Very well. Gummar, your turn.
Gummar sends the moonbeam. Need another con 15 save.
That is a failure.
15 radiant damage.
Whew. She's withering. She looks pretty rough.
And then if you have it on your bingo cards, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. He's going to cast Jump,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and he can very easily get right up next to her. And he's going to pull out the quarterstaff and say, "Which end do you want this in?"
Gross.
God.
Gross.
And that's his turn.
Okay. The shades.
So squeaky clean.
Gummar, I'm going to rewind
Oh no.
and use an ethereal step before I get moonbeamed. That is my second one that I have used.
Before she hits Moonbeam?
Yes. It says, as a reaction, when creature she can see targets her with an attack, power, or spell, call that a power or spell, she can do so. We'll go on top of here.
Not as far to jump.
Okay, then I'm
You can totally jump a different way. 100%.
Yeah, then he'll go right there.
The shade will take its likely pathetic swing at you.
At this
Oh, not too pathetic. Oh, well, it is pathetic then. Yeah, it was going to miss anyway. Well, I don't know. 18? 18 misses, right?
18 misses.
Natural 20 and an 18. That could have been a huge single point of necrotic damage. Okay. It is Lestharis' turn. She does not seem to be the running away from fighting type. She's going to reach out with a hand, Gummar, and try to just put it on your chest. And that's going to be a 22 to hit.
It hits.
You take, very poor roll, 5 points of necrotic damage. You also cannot regain any hit points until the start of her next turn. She will reach and try to do that to you one more time. But as we said, the 18 misses. So she's able to get her hand on you and she pushes some necrotic energy into you, Gummar, but it's not very much. She's going to go ahead and take the attack of opportunity to jump down. We will roll acrobatics to see if we can avoid the D6.
That is a 25 to hit.
That is. She does avoid the D6, so she'll land nicely if she lives, if she's alive when she lands.
For 13.
Whew. She's looking pretty rough.
Okay.
So we'll call that 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Really doesn't matter, but what's the gal going to do? That's her turn. Oksana, it is your turn.
Right, we're going to fireball right on top of this bitch. I know it's just one, but she seems to be, making little ones. 15 dex.
I have a question. Does your healing word use a different kind of pact slot?
Yeah,
It does. Great.
It's a first level once a day.
Separate deal.
Once
Nice.
A day. That's the benefit of
She rolls, I know, right? She rolls a 13 on her dexterity save.
It hits with these things in front of her. Just
Yeah.
what?
You roll 8 once and it would do it.
I know, but I just need to. Don't tell me that.
Oh, yeah.
So-
I would.
Try to scoot back.
I'd roll it.
Literally going to be like pop star, reach her hand up, and then she snaps a spark, shoots it up, and it's like boom, explodes right on top of her, and it is all blood, her old school vibes. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was forgot I was supposed to roll damage.
Before you even see her, she's behind that statue. These just vanish. Gummar, what little flesh is left on her, looks up at you and she says, "He is the ancient. He is the land." Her eyes roll in the back of her head.
It's corny, but Gummer's corny and so am I. I think he would say, even if she can't hear him because she's dead, shame he couldn't save you then.
Sam strolls over to the body, and any body that remains with a head attached, he decapitates to be sure.
Very well.
Oksana skips
As
over. Oksana skips over and takes her hands in the blood and just kind of goes like that, if possible. Like, it's a playtime.
Sure.
I mean, if I need to take an action, if we're still doing that.
We're not. We're out of combat. As you each go to perform the task, in a blink, Oksana, you sit up from your bed. You look. Irina is laying next to you, where she should be. And you listen. And you're listening for the scrawl of quill on parchment. You do not hear it. Sam, as you stand in your accustomed sentry's rest, Silyth is on the other side of the room from you. She too is in a type of meditation. Your ocular sensors move, and there's nothing but stillness. Gummar, you awake, and knowing this was a dream and thinking maybe it was all a dream, you turn, and Cormac's bed is empty. And sitting on top of it, not magically, unfortunately, are 3 items that you placed there. There are 2 amber shards on the bed, and there's a leather-bound book. Still seems to be locked, unopened. You all looked for Cormac until the sun began to rise. You came home hoping you missed him. That's where we'll end our special episode for tonight.